Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Davo from Archon Esports, bringing you another 1v1 StarCraft 2 cast today. Excellent. This time our map is Ohana, and it is a Zerg versus Terran match. Awesome. So, in the top left-hand side of the map is GravityWave, who is our pink Zerg player. Awesome. And then in the bottom right-hand side of the map, or I suppose corner, is the blue Terran, only known as Wobble. Excellent. There are the name tags, just so we don't forget that crucial fact, even though I have it written in front of me. Excellent. So these players are platinum and diamond sort of standard, around that kind of area, and they are playing on the US servers, and that is cool beans. Good games usually come out of the US. Of course, really good games come out of Korea, but I haven't found a fault in the games that come from the US just yet. No. So we do have Wobble building a supply depot here, and it is actually probably a tactical decision, as it will aid him if there is any sort of run by. The Zerglings will have to come round here instead of coming in here, because it's more of a dangerous kind of entrance. Excellent. And being only a two-position map, a 1v1 map, it does actually look like these players will be scouting each other very, very quickly indeed. And we do have Xel'Naga watchtowers in the middle of the map as well, and these will be very, very useful in being able to tell whether or not your opponent is coming right at you or not. And of course, quite a lot of StarCraft really comes down to scouting properly, so that is a very important thing to do indeed. So we do have GravityWave expanding already, which isn't too uncommon to see from Zerg players. It's a very, very early expand there indeed. He's opted to go for the expand before his spawning pool, which I know some Zerg players do like to do, and Terran don't particularly have the ability to really do a very, very fast rush like Zerg do. So, to be honest, it's not too much of a bad choice anyway. You know, I suppose that GravityWave is feeling pretty safe in this venture right about now as well. But we do have a bunker going down from Wobble right now, and it does actually look like the bunker is going to fail, and I expect the cancel to go off on that at any point right now. Obviously the bunker was there so he can run some Marines in and do some harassment, but it doesn't look... Nope, there we go, the cancel was saved right until the last minute. Probably to keep the drones off the mineral line and therefore not do as much mining as they could have been doing. Pretty clever play there by Wobble, if that is the case, which it probably was. I can't think of any other reason to cancel the bunker at the last minute like that. So that is good play indeed. And we do have a supply depot coming down now from the top of the ramp on Wobble right now. He's feeling safe because he knows that his opponent has only just got his spawning pool, or has probably only just got his spawning pool, because he has seen the ludicrously fast expansion that our Zerg player has put down. So, you know what, he's just going to expand himself, and that is absolutely fine. He's got a nice little bit of defense right here. If any Zerglings come up this ramp, they'll be stopped by the two barracks that are flying precariously. I always like to think the buildings in StarCraft do fly kind of precariously. And the Marine barely making it through there. Barely making it through there with his life. Just to think, if a barracks landed on your head, that would be ouch times indeed. But yeah, as I say, he's got a nice little bit of defense up here, and if any Zerglings do come up this ramp, they will just be blasted down pretty quickly by these Marines standing here with guns. Excellent. And we have a spine crawler coming down from GravityWave now, maybe feeling the pressure a little bit more, because he knows what his opponent... He knows that his opponent knows what he's up to. So he could be expecting something like maybe a Hellion push or something like that, just to kill off quite a lot of those drones. But it doesn't look like Wobble is doing anything of the sort right about now. And it does look like maybe we're actually going to see a double expand here from Wobble, actually. Seeing as he is building another command center right now, he might just make it straight into a orbital command and just use the ability to call down mules to boost his mineral income. But we will see what happens from here on out as far as this command center is concerned. We do also have a factory on the way now for Wobble as well, advancing into the second tier of units, probably. Awesome. And that is good times. Both players do have these kind of pocket expansions, which aren't so pocket because the excuse my French, but well, I don't know, the girth of the let's say plane in between these two trees here is very long indeed, and you probably aren't going to be able to block that in, or at least not in any quick manner at all. So that expansion is something to look for in the future. If one of them was to bust down these rocks right here, then they could really do quite a lot of damage to their enemy's base in very quick style indeed. So that is something that maybe these players are going to want to watch out for. It's okay for GravityWave. The creep will scout what's ever going on down here quite nicely. And of course, Wobble does have a Marine on top of the ramp. And these Marines are actually going for it, does it? So it does, in all senses of logic, look like Wobble will be expanding down into this left-hand position, which is pretty cool. I don't mind that at all. These Marines probably feeling thoroughly emasculated. They're just shooting at rocks rather than Zerglings or anything harder or harder to kill, like roaches, something like that. Who knows? We do have 1 weapons and 1 armor coming down now for our Zerg player as well, who has actually just thrown down a double evolution chamber, so opting to get those upgrades nice and quickly. And we do have the Infernal Pre-Igniter, also known as the Blue Flame upgrade for the Hellions, coming out right now. So it does look like our Terran will be wanting to use quite a lot of Hellions, or maybe just some Hellions, to go and kill his Zerg opponent's units with. And of course, Hellions, even without that upgrade, are still very good against, you know, light biological Zerg units like Zerglings, drones, stuff like that. So it's a very good choice. It's a very stable choice. He's also getting a Raven out as well, which will be pretty interesting to see what that is for, and pathogen glands as well from GravityWave. So it does look like he's definitely going down the way of the Infestor, which is really cool. Infestors are a really excellent unit. GravityWave has scouted his opponent's expand right now as well, which might make it a little bit more vulnerable. Maybe Wobble might consider blocking off the top of this ramp just here, just to prevent any run by that could happen from GravityWave right now as well, because that could be a very dangerous thing indeed. With the speed that Zerglings move with regards to having the speed upgrade, then I mean, they could get into the main pretty easily and do quite a large amount of damage. We do have a Changeling on the map as well, which will be scouting everything that Wobble is doing from GravityWave right about now as well. Just a tinge of purple there from that Changeling running around. And it doesn't look like Wobble has actually seen it, so GravityWave's Marine will escape and see what is going on. Also, we do have 1 weapons on the way for Wobble right now, which again will be really useful, seeing as his opponent is already getting lots of upgrades, and speaking of which, is getting a lot of Infestors. Infestors being a particularly nasty strain of the Zerg army. They can, obviously, if you've played StarCraft before, I'm sorry, but they can freeze units in place with fungal growth and do a damage over time spell, which is very dangerous indeed. Neural parasite spell, which is essentially mind control, and they can make a army of Marines, which is really cool. So they're a really dangerous unit actually, especially against such compositions as lots of Marines. And Wobble does have quite a lot of Marines on the field at this point in time, but it does actually look like Wobble is going to be going for a Hellion drop right about now, carefully going around the outside of the map as well. 1 weapons and 1 armor on the way for our pink Zerg player as well at the moment, and that will help him deal with quite a lot of the aggression that is coming in. But so far in this matchup, or at least, well, I suppose in this game, our 2 players haven't really even touched each other, so it'll be pretty interesting to actually see what's going on. A Seeker missile upgrade on the way for Wobble as well, which can be used in conjunction with the Raven. Well, it has to be used in conjunction with the Raven. It's the only way they can be on the battlefield, and those can be pretty dangerous against unit swarms such as Zerglings and stuff like that. GravityWave seeing this attack coming in straight away. Unfortunately, the Hellions are too clumped up to do anything major, and a fungal growth does go down on the medvac right now, so it does look like Wobble will be losing this entire force that he has mustered here, and another fungal growth going down just right now to stop the medvac from getting away, as that is 100 minerals and 100 gas that Wobble will never ever see again. Bad times for him. Now we do have a reactor going on down as well as the stim pack upgrade coming out for Wobble right now, which is actually, you know, again, fairly important for a largely bio-based army, as it really helps the Terran player absolutely destroy his opponent. And we have another command center coming down for Wobble right now. It does look like he will be expanding out here. He may have a little bit of difficulty because GravityWave is awfully crafty in his ways and has burrowed a Zergling. And that can be a pain to deal with. It's a lot of extra manpower required instead of just lifting up the command center and going and hoofing it down over there. Again, we do look like maybe we're going to have another drop from Wobble. Perhaps he's going to go try and take one of these expansions. If he hasn't scouted it yet, he might see it on the way, judging by the direction that the medvacs are facing. And we have Banshee Cloak as well. So it does look like Wobble is going a kind of an air route with his army composition, so it should be really interesting to see where this goes. And we do have a big move out now by Wobble. Will he wobble on his attack? Now is the time to see. We have a largely mech army moving through the front, and a drop that is coming around the back. Most of GravityWave's forces are pulling round, as the overlords that are stationed down here have actually scouted that. But we do have, as I say, a large mech attack coming through the middle right now as well, which is a nicer, a slower kind of DPS that is compared to what is about to happen to these Marines, because unfortunately they're just going to get dropped into the middle of all those Zerglings, absolutely get cleared up, and no doubt those medvacs will get cleared up as well. This is a perfect time for Wobble to start his advance. All these overlords are probably going to go down. A little bit of stim would be very nice on these Marines right now. I'm not actually sure they've been stimmed already. I wasn't quite looking there. And we do have a very dangerous thing coming in indeed for these Terran units, which is quite a lot of infestors. Fortunately for our Terran player, he does actually have a Raven on the field, and boom, quite a lot of those Zerglings die to the Seeking missiles, but I don't think it will be enough. It will be all cleared up very quickly indeed by those infestors, and the Banshee will probably go down as well with help from the infested Terrans, which have just been summoned. So by and large, I'd say that was definitely GravityWave's battle. Quite a lot of damage done. Medvac survives just about over here. GravityWave probably not being able to just fungal growth it just enough in time. Crikey, that was a really good battle. So we do have 3 armor and 3 weapons or melee attack on the way for our Zerg player right now, as well as the nasty things called Corruptors. And there is also a really frightening looking building somewhere in this base, which is nice and crouched down beneath its hood right now, which is called a Greater Spire. And when that hatches, bang, we've got Broodlords on the field. Also, we have Ultralisks out as well. So our Zerg player actually teching to Broodlords and Ultralisks, which is pretty cool. It's definitely a composition that one would want. His economy at the moment is actually pretty strong as well, so I think he's going to be able to support that quite nicely. Now we do have a Cloak Banshee coming in here that does look like he's going to be doing is going to be doing all sorts of mischief to these drones. Here we do have an Infestor as well, and a Fungal Growth going down on the Banshee, which unfortunately will bring it out of Cloak, and then some infested Terrans just to finish off the job, coming off the Fungal Growth, and then dying very quickly to the Corruptors that are on the field sitting right next to the Infestors. Ouch, bad times. So we do have the adrenal glands on the way for Zerglings as well, and that makes Zerglings very dangerous things. I think it actually increases their attack speed double, which is extremely scary because Zerglings do quite a lot of damage as it stands, let alone without a crazy buff like that. You could say the same for Marines, as they do have the stim pack upgrade as well, which also gives them a speed boost. Awesome. So we do have Wobble expanded up here as well to that right-hand kind of up and right-hand position to his main base. A lot of Hellions guarding this right now, which is a very wise choice for Wobble, seeing as his opponent's army is largely based of Zerglings. We do have Broodlords on the field as well, and this does look like it is actually becoming an extremely dangerous time to be Wobble. A very dangerous time indeed. I think he's done well in getting Vikings, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough Vikings to take down any sort of air armada. A lovely fungal growth going down on those Terran units right there and getting cleared up very, very, very quickly by these Zerglings right here. And it does actually look like perhaps if GravityWave were to push now, then he might actually be able to catch his opponent out. But little do we know, Wobble over here on the right-hand side of the map does have a drop ready and waiting to go. These Marines are just kind of idling, and unfortunately they're not going to be able to do anything because they didn't get the command to quick enough. Unfortunately, the medvacs escape empty-handed. No Marines and Marauders to hold in their cargo bay. If these infestors are quick, they can get a nice fungal growth off, but they won't need to, as there are just corruptors on the ground anyway, which will take care of that medvac pretty quickly. So, I mean, these Hellions, as I was saying, they're a very good choice against this army's composition even. But Hellions cannot shoot up. Oh dear. We also don't appear to have... No, we don't actually have any Ultralisks from GravityWave, our Zerg player, just yet, so we'll see if he'll try and implement that later on in the match. But it does look like a whole lot of pain is coming towards this Terran base right now. Those Hellions chose the wrong time to move off and depart, as it does look like this will all get cleared up pretty quickly by the Zerglings that are extremely, extremely effective right about now. With that 3-weapon upgrade and the adrenal glands as well, they will tear through pretty much anything with absolute ease. Unfortunately, this amount of Hellions, I'm not sure will be able to do anything against that sort of crazy DPS that can be pumped out by these Zerglings. I mean, Wobble's going to have to do some really, really nice micro hits to survive that, but nope. Down they go again to the Zerglings with the superior, I suppose the superior, not weapons because they're a part of them, let's say superior attack upgrades. There we are. Awesome, so we have a lot of Corruptors on the field, and all of the Corruptors have potential to be turned into Broodlords right now as well. And we do have, wow, that's a lot of dead Zerglings, because that is a lot of Hellions. It does look like maybe Wobble will bring it back real quick. That'd be very interesting to see, but it does look like the Broodlords here will be the ultimate downfall of this very strong counterattack by Wobble, because he doesn't actually have anything that will shoot air units. So it's just a matter of keeping the Infestors away from that attacking army and doing as much as he can. Wow, also 9 more Broodlords on the way for our Zerg player. So again, it is looking to be a bad time to be Wobble, unfortunately, especially with that supply difference of 182 to 130. It does look like this could be it. We do have GravityWave also expanding to every available resource location on the map as well, allowing his opponent absolutely no room to maneuver in an economic sense, which is pretty bad news. We do have some SCVs, hopeful that they can come up here and expand, or maybe even just get some minerals. Yup, they're just after the minerals. Meanwhile, we do have a rather large Zergling attack coming in here. It does look like maybe GravityWave is actually just throwing these Zerglings away for now, in order to clear some room to get some more Broodlords, perhaps, which isn't a bad shout, because Broodlords are a very, very, very brutal unit indeed. And they can do things like this with their immense range. They can literally stand about a mile away, I exaggerate, but a mile away from a base and absolutely cane the opponent's buildings. Very dangerous units indeed. Our Broodlords, but something that is... Oh, these Fungals! No! Those Vikings are going to die from those Fungals almost straight away. Oh, beautiful Fungals. Also, the Broodlords manoeuvring away slightly, just so they're not in range of the Fungaled Vikings, which is a pretty good play. It does look like these infested Terrans will be mopping up the Vikings, and there is the GG from Wobble, and that will come to the end of the game. Excellent. That was a wicked game. I really, really enjoyed casting that. Really good fun. But Broodlords, woo, what a unit. They are dangerous. And I really like this map, actually. It's very pretty. If it wasn't in a war zone, you could imagine sitting on that beach with a towel and sunbathing or something like that. But of course, being from Britain, if I was to sit on that beach and sunbathe, my pale white body would turn off all the ladies in the area, so I won't go there. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day and enjoy playing StarCraft as usual. And that's it. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.